This is progress culture.
I think it's relatively similar in many fields. That Brian Jordan was on last week, and we spoke about standardization of processes that begin to stifle the development of other ideas. Maybe not even necessarily in a way where nobody's developing them. They're just not getting out there because it doesn't fit into the standard. And I think of, excuse me, art is the same way. We did talk about that, and whether or not you want to look at that as what somebody identifies as a period of art and things fit into that, or if you want to look at it as commercialization or top 40, these types of things where what's in place stifles or creates a hurdle, a giant hurdle in some cases, for the development of new ideas.
Yeah.
Even if it's even you have that in regard to the leadership and the, let's just call it the people who are managing it and creating it, but also the people who are learning about it or coming to you or coming to it or finding out about it. Sometimes if it doesn't fit into that standard, they don't want to engage it.
Yeah. And you're spot on in both what you were just saying. You really have to have that safe sandbox. And the sandbox you have of the jazz and innovation and the music style, that's a safe sandbox to go play in, that you're not bound in by policies and procedures, but you do have limits.
Yeah.
And we have had conversations over roast chicken about this.
We got to do that. I hope we can do that soon.
In the music world and in the aviation world, business is a limiting factor. In the music world, you know much better than I, the business of music drives who gets to play, who doesn't get to play, where they get to play, the influences they have in a lot of ways. Who you select as your leaders in your community, whether it's the music community, the aviation community, the military community, the academic community, who you select and designate as your leaders matters a lot, because they will tend to drive things inward and controlled and processed, or keep things open and outward and open to the possibilities. So I think that leadership piece, again, where you started, plays a big role in music. Business is leading, except for when artists are recognized for the leadership of their art. So I think there's a lot of similarities across communities.
Absolutely.
Right, and I think that has to do what we were talking about in the beginning with mental, physical, and progress. Progress needs to move forward in a positive manner. The mental, it's much easier to move forward when you are communicating with people that are looking at and willing to interact with the same mental thoughts that you're trying to move forward. And then the physical is the actual outcome of that interaction. And that also takes place in the music that we're doing. You know, we have mental interaction along with the physical, and between the physical and the mental, we have what I consider a positive progress in the music. And that's basically what you're doing with the drones. It's all positive, and it's mental interaction of people who actually are trying to move forward and want to move forward, even though the controls of business may limit or limit for the moment, but they probably will break away a little bit eventually, because they'll figure out that, oh wow, we need to become part of this, because this is moving beyond where we just were.
Yeah, that alignment piece is huge, and that's really been a core, again, of my leadership studies, was getting the alignment. And alignment doesn't have to be ironclad. You're all in exactly the same lane, but you do have to have that direction, everybody focused in the same direction. And how you achieve that alignment, whether it's policy or more of a spiritual, people are just mano a mano, seeing the same things the same way. The one thing I especially in a highly innovative environment, the one thing I really try to avoid doing is labeling things, period, but also especially labeling things as positive or negative. Because growth in any direction can be good. It's only until you see what's it really creating, and then you realize, okay, that's not aligned with where we're wanting to go, but let's keep that in the parking lot. Let's save that for later. Maybe that will be valuable. Or, nah, it's just really not helping us. So, yeah.